I want to talk to somebody there on why you should start with what you have. I have a lot of young people, middle-aged people, elderly people who have given reasons why they are stuck in life. A lot of them keep saying, I don't have anybody that is helping me. I don't have anybody that is connecting me with what is happening. Say, Mama, you won't believe I have a lot of talent. I can do so many things. But my problem is that nobody is there to introduce me. And to my greatest amazement, in one of those discussions, I asked one of them, who incidentally is a reverend minister, a preacher of the word of God like myself. And I asked him, what are these talents you're talking about? He started telling me about his giftings in the spirit, his spiritual gifts, his abilities, what he can do when it's just that nobody's inviting him to preach, even where he's working, he's not planned to preach, he's not this, he's not that, all the blah, 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 going forth and back. And I asked him one question. Do you have a phone? Do you have a phone? Do you have an Android phone? He said, yes. I said, what do you do with your Android phone? He said, I make calls, I chat, and I do every other thing. Do you know that? I told him, do you know the greatest and the biggest platform you need is the phone you are carrying in your hand? That phone that you have. Do you know that phone can give you 1 billion audience at a time? Do you know that phone can put you across geographical boundaries without any threats? No threat whatsoever. No denominational threat whatsoever. Whatever level of miracle you want to perform, that you feel God has given you grace to carry out, do you know you can do that? Why are you complaining? He said, Mama, what do you mean? I said, start with the phone that you have in your hand. That is the highest platform you need. Start with that phone. He said, Mama, how do you mean? I said, let me share a life story, my own story with you. He said, Mama, what is the story? I said, at a point in my life, I became very popular in my own denomination. I was having invitations back to back. If the women are not inviting me, the men are inviting me to speak to them. If the men are not inviting me, the youths are inviting me. If the youths are not inviting me, the daughters of Wesley, the young people. And at a point, it broke boundaries. It broke my denominational boundaries. I started having invitations to address not just church audiences. I started having invitations to address, communities, people in different walks of life. But a time came, another season came in my life that those invitations weren't coming again. I started getting angry with myself. And before this time, God had spoken to me, get into the media evangelism. Be a media person. I tried to talk to somebody then. The person told me, you can't get there. It's too costly. Then we had not gotten into this era of doing so many things in the phone in Nigeria. So it's too costly. You can't pay it. You can't pay for a session in TV. You can't pay for a session in radio. Do you accept to have a strong sponsor? What if you start today and tomorrow the person is not ready to sponsor it again? What happens? And that got me down the drain. I kept the vision I had. But there's this vision, there's this season I entered, like I said, the invitations were not coming again. The platforms were no longer available. And when you have been high up there, all of a sudden comes this pause that you can't explain, that is almost pushing you into oblivion. It became a concern. It became a concern. And it was eating deep into me. So one day, a voice spoke to me. Start with what you have. And I asked myself the question, what is that thing that I have? He said, you have a phone. You have an Android phone. You have contacts in your phone. Start preaching and sending those messages out. All the contacts in your WhatsApp, send them. Put your messages on Facebook. Put your messages on TikTok. Put your messages on YouTube. Go to Instagram. Be there. I said, I've not done this. I'm not used to this. How am I going to start? The voice kept coming. Start with what you have. And at that point in time, what did I have? I had my phone. So what did I do? I'll wake up in the morning. I'll pick on a subject and I'll talk about it. I'll send the messages out. In no distant time, I started having feedbacks, positive feedbacks, constructive feedbacks. Encouragements were coming. People were becoming attached, emotionally and passionately attached to what I was doing. And remember, I have said, invitations to preach in the open crusades were no longer coming. Opportunities to use the church platforms were not coming as it used to. And basically because of one thing or the other, which I would not even want to talk about here. Because as you're growing in life, those challenges, they don't come to mar you. They come to make you. It is when you listen to yourself and you make the best out of that moment that you actually discover that those seasons were sent to help you evolve into a better and a truer version of yourself. Do you believe that, or could you believe that as I started doing this passionately every day, and I would say, please do well to share this message. You may not know who God is going to use this to help. The message were going. Some person started calling me and sharing testimonies and telling me how one message, one preaching I sent across helped them, took them out of a bad decision they had wanted to make. Some of these persons, I don't even know them up till now. I don't know them, and I may not know so many of them. And some started reaching out, relating with me. And this brought encouragement to me. So when this started happening, as I see myself fulfilling destiny on a higher pedestal, I started seeing my horizon increasing. As I see my knowledge, my knowledge increasing, my wisdom increasing, God was sending all that I need to be, or to enter into this level. Why? Because I chose to start with what I had. And what did I have? My Android phone. I made an appointment with destiny that I would reach as many as I could. People who are having bad relationships, people who are dealing with situations that they don't know what to do, people who are mourning, who are sorrowing, people who want to make decisions on how to do investment, on what kind of investment, people who want to marry, people who want to serve God, people who want to live right. I decided I'll make myself a life coach in the best of my own ability, using what I have to reach as many as I could or as I can. And that started growing. We have not gotten there. By the time we started, God started funding. The people that were giving the feedbacks, they were also identifying with what I was doing. At some point, I hadn't money. to get data, to do some of the things I needed to do. I hadn't money to buy some equipment. I will put it up there. By the time I just make a particular post or presentation, I'll make a request. Please, we have this. I have this challenge. If you're there and God is using this program to bless you, can you identify with me? Please come to my DM. I'll just drop my account details. Before I know, they will come. They will help me. And do you know how I was using what I had to reach the world? I became an international personality right inside my room, right inside my parlor. Some days I may not even be strong enough. I may be so sick that I'm not able to go out. But as long as I had my phone and my voice was still with me, I will on my phone, I'll do the recording. What was I doing? That time I wasn't even doing video. I'll just on my WhatsApp. I'll record a message, 5 to 10 minutes message, and I'll post it, send it to people, and I'll say, please do well to make this message to go viral. And today, it has paid off. So who is there? What do you have in your hands? When God called Moses, and God was ready to send him out to confront Pharaoh and to get the children of Israel out of that bondage, Moses started complaining. God told him, what do you have in your hands? He said he had a staff. God used the staff. When he complained of his speech, the difficulties in his speech, God told him, you have Aaron as a brother. He will be your spokesman. What do you have? Who do you have? Make use of that. And the sky will only be your starting point. Thank you.